Imagine for a second, just, really picture this, that the earth right beneath your feet isn't just dead rock and dirt.
Right, which is how we normally think of it.
Exactly. But what if it is actually this massive silent engine, and it's vibrating at these frequencies that directly interact with the stars above you?
It's a pretty wild concept to wrap your head around.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what if you could take a piece of that engine, like just hold it in the palm of your hand and literally use it to tune your own life?
Yeah, like an active tool.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is exactly the mind-bending premise we are exploring today for you, the listener. We are doing a deep dive into this really fascinating source called celestial alignment, the astrological guide to crystals.
And we should clarify, our mission today isn't just to, look at a list of pretty rocks.
No, definitely not. We're going to unpack this centuries-old system that claims to map, amplify, and connect your personal energy to the universe itself.
Which is huge.
Yeah, we're talking about understanding the deepest layers of your astrological chart, optimizing the energy of your home, and even hacking into your own dreams.
It covers a lot of ground.
It really does. So, okay, let's unpack this, because looking at your backdrop today, I see you've got this beautifully lit study set up.
Oh, yeah, trying to set the mood a bit.
I love it. You have these ancient, intricate star charts on one side, and then these raw, heavy geological specimens on the other. It perfectly captures the friction of this whole topic.
That was the goal, yeah. The cosmic and the earthly, right there together.
Right. So before we can figure out how to apply these crystals to our personal lives, we have to understand the foundational mechanics. Like, how does this framework claim these stones actually work?
Well, that is the perfect place to start because the source material, it basically demands a complete paradigm shift right out of the gate.
Okay, how so?
Within this framework, crystals are explicitly described as living entities.
Wait, living entities?
Yeah.
Like alive?
Right, and they clarify this, they don't mean biological life, of course.
Okay, good, because that would be a whole different deep dive.
Yeah, exactly. They mean these stones are energetically active. They are not just, static objects sitting on a shelf collecting dust.
Right.
They are active participants in the environment, and they vibrate at these highly specific, really stable frequencies.
That completely reframes how you look at, I don't know, a piece of jewelry or a rock sitting on your desk.
It really does. The core logic here is that these unique vibrations serve as physical, earthly representations of the abstract energies of the planets and stars.
So it's about, like, a connection between the two.
Exactly. It is the principle of resonance. Every type of crystal has its own unique structural property. So if you understand that property, you can use the physical stone to either amplify positive planetary energies in your life or, on the flip side, actively reduce negative ones.
Okay, can you give me an example of that?
Sure. So, for example, quartz is categorized as a powerful energy amplifier.
Like a sort of energetic megaphone?
Yes, exactly like a megaphone. Whereas amethyst, it vibrates at a frequency that acts as a calming and protective dampener.
Okay, so if I'm trying to wrap my head around the actual mechanism of this, is using a crystal essentially like tuning a radio antenna.
Oh, that's an interesting way to put it.
Like, say the universe is broadcasting a million different frequencies, right? Creating all this cosmic static.
Mm-hmm.
And you use a specific crystal to, like, tune into one very specific planetary frequency out of all that noise.
What's fascinating here is that your radio antenna analogy, it perfectly captures the exact mechanics the source is describing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The cosmos is incredibly loud and chaotic, energetically speaking, and these physical objects bridge the gap between human intention and those universal energies.
So they're the hardware, basically.
Right. They provide a tangible physical tuner for you to interact with the cosmos. You aren't just sitting in your room, hoping for calming energy to somehow find you.
Right, you're taking action.
Exactly. You are holding a physical tuner, like an amethyst, that actually vibrates at that specific calming frequency. It acts as a receiver for that exact planetary energy.
Yeah, and it makes the abstract suddenly feel intensely practical. It brings the stars right down into your living room.
It really grounds the whole concept.
So if these crystals act as tuning forks for cosmic energy, how do we apply that tuning fork to the listener's unique cosmic fingerprint? Let's talk about their zodiac sign.
Right, the personal application.
Yeah, because the text goes into incredible detail. Pairing specific crystals with specific signs. But, instead of just reading a giant list to you all, let's look at the underlying logic of why certain stones are matched with certain elements.
That is exactly how we should approach it, because the system categorizes these pairings beautifully. by the four elements, fire, earth, air, and water.
Okay.
The goal isn't just to give you, like, a lucky charm based on your birthday.
Right. It's not just a novelty gift shop thing.
Exactly. The goal is to provide a customized energetic match for the inherent traits and, probably more importantly, the vulnerabilities of each sign.
Okay, let's take the fire signs as our first example.
Yeah.
So that's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Fire signs are known for being explosive, passionate, driven.
Very high energy.
Yeah. And the text points out that Aries is paired with carnelian to boost motivation and courage, while Leo gets citrine for creativity and amplifying leadership. So why those specific stones?
Well, think about the nature of fire itself. It requires fuel, right?
Right.
And it requires direction.
Otherwise, it just burns everything down.
Right. Otherwise, it either burns out quickly or causes massive destruction. Carnelian and citrine, they don't try to extinguish the fiery nature of an Aries or a Leo.
They don't tamp it down.
No, they provide a structural vibration that directs that fire. An Aries can burn out from pure, unbridled ignition. So the carnelian provides this steady, motivating frequency that helps them sustain that courage over time.
Rather than just flashing hot and fading.
Precisely. It sustains the burn.
Right. It's about harnessing the element. Let's contrast that with the earth signs. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. They are naturally grounded, like the builders of the zodiac.
Very stable signs.
Yeah. But the text pairs Taurus with rose quartz for peace and self-love, and Capricorn is matched with garnet to boost courage for all that hard work they do. This feels really different than the fire pairings.
It is different, exactly. Earth signs are the builders, and their vulnerability is that they can become too rigid.
Oh, like literally stuck in the mud.
Yeah, or they can grind themselves into dust with pure discipline. They don't need stones that ground them further because they are already earth.
That makes total sense.
Right. A Taurus needs the gentle, balancing frequency of rose quartz to remind them of peace and self-love so they don't become overly stubborn or materialistic.
So the stone is providing what they naturally lack.
Yes, it provides the structural, emotional support they need to maintain their stability without, turning to stone themselves.
Wow. And we see a similar balancing act with the water signs too, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. These are the deep feelers, the intuitive signs who just absorb everything around them.
They're very permeable energetically.
Yeah, and Cancer is paired with moonstone for emotional balance.
Right, because water is fluid and deeply influenced by its environment. A Cancer can be completely overwhelmed by the emotional currents around them.
Just swept away.
Exactly. So moonstone in this system acts like the gravitational pull of the actual moon on the tides. It provides a stabilizing, rhythmic frequency that brings emotional balance to a system that might otherwise just flood entirely.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? I mean, if you're a Leo, do you just carry a piece of citrine around in your pocket, or is there more to it? It kind of feels like a highly personalized metaphysical vitamin regimen.
A metaphysical vitamin regimen, that is a brilliant way to look at it.
Right, like taking your daily supplement.
Exactly. You are intentionally introducing a balancing frequency into your daily life to support your natural astrological disposition.
Filling in the gaps.
Yes, you are filling in your energetic blind spots. It is an active daily compensation.
But the text doesn't stop at just your sun sign. It makes it clear that your sun sign is really just the surface layer.
Oh, absolutely. It goes much deeper.
Yeah, to truly align your energy, we have to transition from the broad strokes of the zodiac to these highly specific internal and cosmic maps.
Yes, moving into the natal chart and the chakras. This is where the practice shifts from, a general wellness routine into a highly individualized energetic science.
So let's talk about the natal chart first. The source explains that crystals can help identify your life purpose, your strengths, and your weaknesses based on exactly where all the planets were the literal minute you were born.
Right, and if I pull up an overlay graphic behind me here, you can see how this cosmic map actually functions.
Okay, I see it.
So if you have a prominent Mars in your chart, and Mars being the planet associated with aggression, drive, and conflict, the text pairs that with Ruby.
Why Ruby?
The Ruby's frequency interacts with that martial energy to bring courage and strength, rather than just letting it turn into blind anger.
That makes sense.
And if Saturn, which is the strict taskmaster planet of boundaries and lessons, is prominent, you look to black tourmaline.
Which is used for intense protection and grounding. I mean, it's almost like building a customized spiritual loadout based on your exact birth minute.
The loadout. Yeah, I like that.
And then the system takes that massive cosmic map and brings it entirely inside the physical body through the chakras.
The 7 energy centers of the body, yes. The text maps a specific crystal to each one, starting from the root chakra at the base of the spine, all the way up to the crown chakra at the top of the head.
To give you a sense of the spectrum, the root chakra, which is all about your foundation and survival, is paired with the dense, really grounding energy of red jasper.
Very earthy.
Right. But as you move all the way up to the third eye and the crown chakras, which deal with intuition and higher consciousness, you transition to much lighter, clearer stones, like amethyst and clear quartz.
The frequency matches the purpose.
Exactly. And the application here is very physical. The text advises that to fix a blocked chakra, you place the corresponding crystal directly on your skin over that area. Or you use it during meditation while visualizing the energy center balancing.
It is a very tactile practice. You are placing the physical tuner directly onto the physical body where the specific energetic blockage is occurring.
Okay, I have to stop you right there and push back on this a little bit because my skeptical brain is flashing a massive warning light right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
This just sounds like an overwhelming amount to manage. Let's say a listener has a prominent Mars in their birth chart, so they are carrying a ruby.
Right.
But they also have a blocked heart chakra, so they're wearing rose quartz. And they are a Leo, so they've got citrine in their pocket. How do they avoid creating a massive energetic traffic jam?
That is a very fair point.
I mean, are all these different frequencies just crashing into each other all day long?
That is a very practical concern. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of how the system operates, the goal is not to wear every crystal you own simultaneously.
Okay.
Because that would indeed be an energetic traffic jam.
Yeah.
The text heavily emphasizes targeted focus. You don't open your medicine cabinet and swallow every single pill just because you own them, right?
Yeah, that would be a terrible idea.
Right. You take the specific medicine that treats the current symptom.
Okay. That clarifies a lot.
If your heart chakra is blocked today, you focus entirely on the rose quartz. You set aside the ruby and the citrine for now.
Just deal with the immediate issue.
Exactly. You use the specific physical representation to address the specific energetic blockage in that moment. It's about being incredibly intentional with your energy, not just overwhelming your nervous system with every frequency available in the cosmos.
That makes perfect sense. It requires active participation, not just passive hoarding of shiny rocks.
Exactly. Hoarding won't help you.
So, having mapped our internal chakras and our cosmic birth charts, how do we deploy these tools into our external environment? The source goes deep into actionable magic here, covering everything from feng shui to our actual dreams.
This is where we transition from personal healing to environmental influence. It's about extending your personal energetic field into the spaces you actually inhabit.
Let's look at the spatial element first. So, feng shui. The text says crystals absorb negative energy and release positive energy in the home, acting as anchors for specific zones.
Right, map in the house.
Yeah, you put a crystal in the center of the home for overall balance. You put one in the wealth corner for abundance. It even says to place them near front doors and windows to protect from negative energy entering.
Creating a boundary.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. Is using crystals in feng shui basically like installing a metaphysical security and climate control system for your home.
I love that analogy. A metaphysical climate control system. But we do have to ask, is the text claiming the rock acts as a literal, invisible, physical barrier, or is it purely a psychological anchor for the person who put it there?
Exactly. Which is it? Because, placing a rock by the door to stop a bad day from entering sounds like a stretch for a lot of people.
The framework argues that it is a symbiotic relationship. It is actually both.
Both. How does that work?
The physical placement of the stone at the front door works in tandem with the psychological intention of protecting one's space. The crystal holds the stable frequency, yes, but your mind directs it.
Oh, I see.
It acts as a permanent physical anchor for the intention you set. It creates this feedback loop every single time you walk past it, consciously or subconsciously reinforcing the boundary of your home.
And that concept of a physical anchor extends directly into divination, too, like tarot readings. The source notes that placing crystals around your cards creates a sacred space.
It sets the stage.
Right. But you can also match the element of the reading to the crystal. Like if you were doing a reading about your career, you place citrine on the table. If it's a love reading, you use rose quartz.
In those instances, it acts as a focal point. When a reader holds a crystal or places it on the table, they are using its specific frequency to quiet the ambient noise of the room.
tuning out the static again.
Yes, and connecting more deeply with their intuition regarding the specific question at hand.
Which naturally brings us to the deepest layer of intuition, which is our dreams. This part fascinated me.
It's a very compelling section.
Yeah. The text talks about opening the third eye to connect with your higher self using amethyst or quartz. But for dreams specifically, it suggests using amethyst or moonstone for dream recall and lapis lazuli to actually gain insight from what you dreamt.
The application is really specific.
Very. The method is to set an intention before sleep and then immediately hold the crystal upon waking to help remember the dream.
Dreams are incredibly ephemeral. They are like smoke. They just dissipate the moment your conscious brain turns on and you open your eyes.
You lose them so fast.
By holding a physical object, a crystal with a stable frequency, right as you wake up, you are giving your brain a tactile anchor.
It's like throwing a rope down into the subconscious to pull the dream up into reality before it sinks back into the dark.
Precisely. You are using the stone's vibration to physically bridge the subconscious state and the waking state.
Man, that is cool. But this brings us to something we absolutely have to talk about. The upkeep.
Ah, yes. The maintenance.
Because you wouldn't use a water filter in your house for years without ever cleaning it. Right?
Yeah, it would get disgusting.
Exactly. Because crystals absorb all this heavy emotional and cosmic energy we've just been discussing. The text says they require strict maintenance. And it includes some very surprising warnings.
The maintenance is critical. If these are living entities vibrating at specific frequencies, they can become bogged down or knocked completely out of tune by the heavy energies they absorb.
So they lose their effectiveness.
Right. The text calls this process cleansing and recharging.
It says this must be done regularly to maintain their effectiveness. And the methods are really varied. You can smudge them with sage, place them in direct sun or moonlight, use sound vibrations from a singing bowl, or use water.
Lots of options.
But wait, I have to ask the obvious question here. If I take a piece of quartz that has absorbed a bunch of negative energy and I just, leave it out in the moonlight, what is physically or energetically happening?
It's a fair question.
Because how does ambient light from the moon actually cleanse a vibration? It sounds poetic, sure, but how does this framework explain the actual mechanics?
Well, it all comes back to the concept of resonance and entrainment.
Entrainment.
Yes. Think of a crystal like a highly sensitive musical instrument that has gone slightly out of tune after a really long concert.
Okay.
You don't wash a guitar to tune it, right? You expose it to a perfect baseline pitch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In this framework, natural elements like sunlight, the gravitational and light waves of the moon, or the pure acoustic frequencies of a singing bowl, they provide a massive, pure baseline frequency.
So it's not about washing away dirt.
No, not at all. When the crystal is exposed to that pure source, it undergoes entrainment. Its internal vibration resets to match the pure, unburdened frequency of the light or sound. You are essentially zeroing out the scale.
That makes so much more sense than just assuming the moonlight is magically washing bad vibes off a rock.
Yes.
It's literally a vibrational reset.
Exactly.
And the process described is highly intentional. You hold the crystal, visualize a white light, apply your chosen cleansing method, and crucially, the text says you must express thanks to the crystal.
Expressing thanks builds the psychological and energetic connection. It reinforces the idea that you are working with a living entity, not just, using a disposable tool.
But here's the part of the text that absolutely stopped me in my tracks. The warning.
Yes, we need to cover this.
The text explicitly warns that some crystals can be toxic if ingested and dangerous if used incorrectly in elixirs or baths, and it advises you to consult with an experienced astrologer or gemologist. Wait, toxic. We've just spent all this time talking about putting these stones on our bare skin, sleeping with them in our beds, and holding them while we meditate.
This raises an important question, and frankly, it is a vital grounding point for this entire deep dive.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We have been discussing these stones as high vibrational spiritual tools, but fundamentally, beneath the astrology and the chakras, they are geological compounds.
Right, they're rocks.
They are literally made of minerals, metals, and earth elements.
Which makes sense. Like, if you do a quick search outside the text, you realize malachite contains high levels of copper, or cinnabar literally contains mercury.
Which is highly toxic.
Yeah. The text doesn't name those heavy metals specifically, but it makes the overarching point incredibly clear.
Exactly. The text is urging profound critical thinking here. Spiritual tools are powerful, and they offer incredible ways to connect with our intuition, our spaces, and the cosmos.
But they're still physical objects.
Yes, They still exist in the physical geological world. They require practical respect and geological knowledge. You cannot disconnect the spiritual practice from the physical reality of the object you are holding.
That is such a vital takeaway. It demands that we be informed, educated, and intentional about what we're doing.
Absolutely.
It really warns against blindly adopting a spiritual practice just because, the stones look aesthetically pleasing on a bedside table.
Intention and knowledge are the true sources of power in this framework. Ignorance, even well-meaning ignorance, is actually quite dangerous.
Wow. So let's take a step back and recap this incredible journey.
We've covered a lot.
We really have. We started by looking at how crystals act as cosmic tuning forks, bridging the chaotic energy of the universe with our own intentions.
The radio antenna?
Right. We explored the deep logic of finding your personal zodiac crystal to balance your natural vulnerabilities, whether you are a fiery Aries needing the sustained burn of carnelian, or an intuitive Cancer needing the stabilizing tide of moonstone.
The customized loadout.
Yes. And then we mapped the internal energy of the chakras and the cosmic energy of your natal chart, learning that we have to focus on specific blockages rather than creating an energetic traffic jam.
Targeted focus is key.
We talked about how to protect your home with Feng Shui, enhance your tarot readings, and throw a rope down into your subconscious dreams. And finally, we grounded it all in the necessary vibrational maintenance, the very real physical reality of these living entities.
It is a stunningly comprehensive system when you look at it all together. It seamlessly bridges the macrocosm of the universe with the microcosm of our daily physical lives.
It really is. And, it leaves me with one final thought that I want to pass on to you listening right now.
Yeah.
We've talked so much today about crystals as physical manifestations of cosmic energy, vibrating at specific frequencies that we deliberately choose to hold in our hands or place in our homes.
Right.
But consider the actual geological makeup of the city or the region where you live. If a single amethyst on your nightstand can alter the energy of your dreams and act as a tuning fork for the stars, what about the ground itself?
Oh, wow.
Could the massive subterranean plates of limestone, granite, or quartz bedrock directly beneath your feet be subtly altering your daily astrological alignment without you even realizing it? Are we all just walking around on top of giant city-sized tuning forks?
Now, that is a truly fascinating perspective to consider. It suggests the environment beneath us might be just as influential as the stars above us.
Something to ponder the next time you take a walk in your neighborhood and feel the solid ground beneath you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we will catch you next time.